Good morning, everyone. My presentation will be a little different from what you have been seeing in the morning. First of all, because I don't come from a business school or a account school. I come from a school of health allied technology. So we have the techniques that will work in the hospitals, in the clinics. So it's a little bit different for us to talk about entrepreneurship with them than the things that you have heard here before. So since 2008, we have in the pharmacy degree a unit, a curricular unit that it's called Entrepreneurship and Management. That came because the director of the degree believes that multidisciplinarity is very important for students, and because we see very often in the market that students of schools that are not management or accounts have the ideas, have the product, have the service, but they don't know nothing about how to run a company, how to run an enterprise, and then it brings them some difficulties when they come to the real market and they want to create a business for themselves. So this unity works with 30 hours from theory class and 20 hours practical class. These two names, theory and practical, have nothing to do with what really happens in there, because the theory classes are very practical and the practical classes are very theoretical. So we have here a little mixture of things in this class. It runs in one trimester, 3 hours of theory and 2 hours of practical classes per week, in a total of 50 hours, because our trimesters have 10 weeks. It means 5 SATSs, and the evaluation of the unit is 50% for the work they do in the theoretical classes and 50% from the practical classes. How does it really work? In the theory, the teacher, Mr. Joel Fernandes, that goes there with me, do some, let's call it games, that helps them develop the soft skills that you've been talking here before, helps them to know each other, to work with the others, to develop the ability to create something, to innovate, to be free mind and bring some ideas to the table. And then he prepares with them a real market experience in the community. He works with them and they prepare, they choose a product or a service in a group, a real one, not a dreamed one, a real one, and they go to the streets one day and they sell it to the people that come to that market. And then it's the boring part in the practical class, because they have to do something that is a little bit different. With me, they have to do a really business plan. They have to work in groups, choose an idea, choose a service, choose a product, and develop a business plan as if they were going to some tycoon or some people, some business angel, to show that and try to get some help to start their business. So in the skills, we try to develop the skills of writing, oral communication, and personal acknowledgement, or maybe here it's better the soft skills that the colleague talked about earlier. In the writing skills, we do the business plan, a report. They do 2 business plans, one for me in the practical class that is bigger, and one for Professor Joel in the theoretical class about the one day in the market they are going to do. Then in the oral communication, they do to me a pitch at the end of the trimester. After they have the report, the business plan done, they try to sell it to me, and sometimes I invite some people to go there and listen. Last year I invited 4 teenagers to go and see, and they are incredible because teenagers with 12 years, they really ask the questions, and they ask the really questions that they don't sometimes know how to answer because they weren't expecting. Now, they are very critical and help them to find the real problems with the project. And then in the oral communication, we have also the interaction with the customer. You are seeing the photographs. The first one is the work they do to me, and the other two are of the one-day open market that we do in the street, in the community, where they sell the things. And then in the personal acknowledgement, as I said, the group work and contact with the real market that helps them to develop some important skills. So, how to do a business plan? This is what we think about. First, they have to come with an idea, and they spend some hours discussing the idea, because at first they think, but we are here, we know the clinical language, the biology, the anatomy, the pills talk, but now we have to have an idea to make a business. We never thought about it. What will it be? And so I tell them, okay, let's try it. And just think that in 2 years you'll be in the market with a real job, and you'll be there until you die, because next 60 or 70 years you'll be working, and you will not be doing the same thing all the time. You will be starting down in the enterprise or in the organization, but then maybe you come to management one day, or maybe one day you create your own enterprise, or maybe you have a dream that you want to make come true, and it's good to know how to understand how to make a business plan. And so, first come the idea, they test the idea, they discuss the idea in the group. They never get divorced, like the other colleagues said. They scream, they never divorce, always come to an idea for the group and commit them together. And then they come to the real hard work, that is making a strategic plan, the Martin plan, what will be our mission, our vision for the future to this enterprise. How do we see the world outside? Who are the competitors? The consumers, where are they? The legal experts, the political experts, the economic, the social, the technology. When we look out the window, what do we see out there that can help us, or that can make it more difficult to us? And I tell them that each of these points, it's like a test to their idea. If in some of these points it's not very interesting, then they go back and begin to discuss another idea again. They do the SWOT analysis, define their target customer, and then they go to the Martin mix. If they come to this point, okay, the idea is that one, we are not giving up, because we saw what we have to see, the strength, the weakness, the opportunities, the threats of the market. Nowadays they have the internet, that obviously helps them a lot, because they Google it and they learn a lot. They go to some portals with statistics, and they get the information about the consumer, about the other enterprises. It's very easy, or it's easier than some time ago. And then they do the operational Martin, the Martin mix. They bring a name to the product or the service. They define exactly the technical characteristics of the product. They define a price. The placement, promotion, we talk about all these aspects that are very important in the operationalization of the plan. And then we go to the most difficult part for them, that is the financial report. Because they are not students from economics or management, they never heard about some of the things that we do in the accountability and the accounts. So it's very difficult to them at first to distinguish between what is a cost, what is an investment, how do we estimate our recipes? It's very difficult. But here in Portugal, we have Finícia, which are tables in Excel from an institution called the APME that supports the little enterprises, small and little and medium enterprises. And it's an Excel that they have to fulfill some aspects, and then it brings all the indicators and all the things that are important to analyze if they are going to have profit or if they are not going to have profit. And it's really nice to see them when at first, they all get losses. Right? When they begin to think about the costs of the project, they go nuts and they say, no, I never be an entrepreneur. But it's very difficult, and then the taxes and the other things that we've talked about here this morning. But I think it's important. I try to tell them always that maybe you won't be an entrepreneur, an enterprise owner, but in your job you can be an entrepreneur, because internal entrepreneurship is also very important. You'll be working for the rest of your life, so make it happen, make it be good, make it feel good. And so with the help of these tables, they predict the amount of sales, they estimate costs, and they learn to read some of the main indicators, business indicators. Of course, that we're talking about health students. This is not the clinical language they are familiar with, and some indicators are more difficult to understand than others, but the payback period, they understand it very well, and it's one of they care about, because they want to know when will they begin to get the real money. So it's very good for them. And then in the writing skills, with Professor Joel, they have to plan the one-day market experience. We go to the community with them, a public space in the street, and they have to choose a product. They have to, here you see some of our students doing their job in the street. So they have to make a plan to Professor Joel, saying what the group will sell, what will be the name of the product, the name of the enterprise they will create, what will they be doing to call the customer to buy something to them, because they are normally 20, 21 tables selling things at a time. It's a big class. And they have to predict or think about the what ifs. What if we go there and we sell everything in an hour? How will we go and get some more product to sell? What if no one buys and we have to adjust the price or adjust the selling scheme? So they have to fulfill a report for this experience too, and so they develop here some writing skills. And as they are doing this, they are developing also the language, the economic language of sell, buy, price, and something like that. And then there come the oral skills. In the pitch, I think here everyone knows what a pitch is, and nowadays with the TV programs like Dragon's Den and Shark Tank, we talk about this, and they all know what is a pitch. And it's very interesting how they are discussing how to sell the idea, what is important. I try to tell them that it's easier if they have, they understand which problem does the idea solves, because I believe that the best products or services are the ones that solve problems. So if they can demonstrate which problem it solves, it's easier to sell the idea. And then, of course, to the investor, try to sell a win-win relationship with them. How can you win if you come to our team and play this game with us? In the interaction with the customer, of course, that's a little bit more difficult because they never know what's going to happen. In the streets, we see happy people, angry people, stressed people, people who like very much the product, people who say they are crazy, that they should not be there, they should be at the school. Everything can happen, and of course that helps them to develop the reaction. And these pharmacy studies, they will be contacting with people in their job. They will be selling in a pharmacy. So it's important that to them to contact with people this time. In this photograph, you see this man is the president of our school, and he's also the director of the pharmacy course. He is the one who had the vision to, in a school of health technologies, bring these entrepreneurship classes to the students. And he's very happy seeing what's happening in the street with his students. As the personal acknowledgement, we try to develop, of course, when they have to work in group, they have to know each other very well. I usually say to them that they should be doing a SWOT analysis of themselves. What are their strengths, their weaknesses, the opportunities and the threats. And as a group, they should do 1, 2 to see what's missing, what should they bring, who should they bring to the group. So they learn to know each other, to know the others. They get to know a little bit about leadership, because in the group sometimes one has to be the leader. Otherwise they won't be doing anything but spending their time talking. The importance of take the decisions, stand up for the ideas with respect to the others, and understand when their idea is not the one that has been chosen. And in this point, the leadership is very important to make them feel, okay, my idea is not the one, but I'm still in the group and I want this to work. So they learn also to respect the other. In the market experience, you can see here one student that decided that she was selling in the street dancing lessons. And you see the customer, Mr. Joel Fernandes, who bought a session. And this is important to us because they feel in here that they can pick up their dream, their hobby, it's something they really like to do, and try to sell it and test the market for it. And this girl was very happy all the morning because she was dancing, because people were passing by and stopped and danced with her and paid for the lesson. Something that maybe when she told us I'm going to sell dancing lessons, we thought, what? No one is going to stop in the street and pay for dancing lessons. But it really brings joy to the moment, and it was a great experience for her and for us too, and for the people that goes by the street, and it creates a nice environment. So they are there trying to give customer happiness and dealing with different expectations from customers. As I said before, some are happy, some are not, some are stressed, some have money, some don't have money to spend, and it's very nice to see them interact with the public. And this has been since 2008, and each year we see people that, I thought it was the time you came here. Last year I was here. It was very good. I bought you some maples, they were very good. Don't you sell this year? And this kind of talk is very nice, and the students feel very good about it. And at the end of the day, we go home and we think, what have we learned with this unit? We understood that we have to make educated decisions in everything, but here in business, of course, it's what we talked about. So if one day they decide to have their own enterprise, their own company, they know that, okay, at least I know that I need some people around me that understands some aspects of management, accounts. So I will do what I can do best and outsource the rest, but I have to have a team to make my dream come true. They have learned to know each other better and work with others, be proactive. And they learn that people matter and people make the difference. At the end of the day, we believe that the difference is in the people, not in the computer, not in the pen or in the pencil, but in the people that work, and that work harder, and that commit themselves to a project. And it's very nice to see that at the end of the day, we are all very happy with the results. The students are happier because at the beginning they thought, we will never be able to do this. We don't understand anything of what she's saying or what he is saying. We don't understand this. And then at the end of the day, they begin to understand. And at some point, they come and say, I talked to some person I know, and I helped him, and I said something that he thought, what? You are in the school learning pharmacy, how do you come and talk me about the balance scorecard or of the importance of indicators, but they get very happy because they learn something different. They start to think out of the box, and that is a very important experience for them. And for us as teachers is also very important because we can see what they make, the ideas, the dream, the fun in the process, and it's very, very happy for us, and we learn a lot with them. And we believe that they really have good ideas, and we can trust in the next generation because they will be doing things that are very crazy but spectacular. And at the end of the day also, we want them to go home and think that impossible is nothing. They can do whatever they want if they commit, and if they get the right persons to the team to fulfill the things they don't know how to do, the things they don't understand so much, but at least now they know they have to go to that people and understand some aspects that not only the product or the service, but all about the management of an enterprise, managing people, ideas, machines, everything. Thank you for listening.
So thank you, Professor Fátima Monteiro.